Hi, everybody. This is Andrew Oppman with another edition of Academic Spotlight, a periodic set of programs where we talk about the different degree programs and academic activities at Middle Tennessee State University. This program is going to be devoted to our actuarial science program, and it is within the Department of Mathematics in the College of Basic and Applied Sciences. Here to tell us all about it is the director of that department, Dr. Chris Stevens. Chris, welcome.
Thank you, Andrew.
So let's start with the basics. You ready? What is actuarial science?
So actuarial science is the mathematics that quantifies risk. So it grew up around the insurance industry. The idea is if you need to have an insurance policy on your home, a catastrophic event that would damage your home is really rare. But if it happened, it would be really expensive. So they had to find a way to put numbers to that level of risk and also the level of price. And then you have to include things like the future value of the home, the future value of the economy, and try to do the best they could to put a value to that amount of risk you're absorbing when you insure your home or whatever. And so actuaries are mathematicians that quantify risk professionally.
Wow. Like you said, a vital part of the insurance industry. Let's talk for a second about where these graduates find jobs and what kind of jobs they're doing. I know you described the profession, but how might that be applied out in the workforce?
So the main employer for actuaries is still the insurance industry. So actuaries work professionally mostly for insurance companies, and they set rates. They look at data constantly, and they set rates for insurance companies. And that includes every kind of insurance you can imagine, from home and car and health, life insurance, and also more boutique insurances like the insurance a college quarterback might buy for his arm, for example.
Right.
The other industry that employs actuaries would be Wall Street. It turns out that the mathematical models that actuaries use to model risk are good at modeling risk for insurance, but they're also very good at modeling risk for stocks and bonds. And so actuaries, as an alternative path, sometimes go to Wall Street and manage hedge funds and that sort of thing.
Wow. I think it's fair to say that while this is an important industry and an important opportunity, it's probably not very widely known, right? Because it's one of those things that kind of happens in the background. So one of the things that we're doing with this show is talking about this is a great major and a great opportunity, right? It sounds like there's an increasing, or at least a continued demand for professionals with these skill sets, correct?
Yes, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics says actuaries, even in 2025, are projected to increase by 22% in the next several years, still on the extreme high end for job growth. One thing we find, anecdotally speaking to our colleagues around the nation, is that a lot of actuarial science majors are simply the children of insurance professionals. People who are in that industry are aware of the need for actuaries and the nice compensation actuaries receive, and so they send their kids to study it. But a lot of other people, like you said, have never heard of that degree and aren't aware of it.
Well, part of what our job, you and me, is to tell other people about this. One of the questions that I told you I was going to ask, why major at this at MTSU? What do we offer prospective students that make our university an attractive place to get this kind of training?
Okay, so MTSU is the first and currently the only institution in the state of Tennessee with both an undergraduate and a graduate program in actuarial science. We also have a couple of international level recognitions. We have been recognized by the Casualty Actuarial Society as gold tier recognition.
Okay.
We're one of only about 12 universities in the U.S. that have that recognition.
12 in the entire country.
That's
wow.
Right. And then we've been recognized by the other big professional organization is the Society of Actuaries, the SOA.
Okay.
And we have been recognized by them with what's called a Center of Actuarial Excellence. There are about 21 programs in the U.S. that have that recognition. So when you combine those two, we're at essentially the top level of both of those societies. We're one of only about 15 programs worldwide that have both of those recognitions.
That's incredible. So we have unique standing not only in the state of Tennessee, we have really this reputation that extends nationwide, having this
correct.
kind of recognition. Let's talk about the degree offerings and opportunities you have. It's both graduate and undergraduate, as you mentioned.
That's correct.
So describe what the bachelor's degree program looks like. What would you be majoring in, and what would that be, what will you be pursuing?
Sure. Well, the major is actually called actuarial science.
Okay.
So you would be majoring, entering, knowing you're going to study actuarial science. It's housed in the mathematics department. And so for the first couple of years, it would track along with the mathematics majors. You would take your calculus sequence, maybe differential equations, linear algebra, introduction to statistics, and that sort of thing. And then around junior year, you would begin to diverge from the pure and applied mathematics and the stats majors, and study, in fact, actuarial models, and that would become a little more insurance and business oriented. You're still doing a lot of mathematics, but there you get the business and insurance flavors along with that. We should also say that the profession, to become an actuary, you have to pass a long and rigorous sequence of professional examinations. I think there are about 9 exams, and essentially most students will graduate and then begin to work for insurance companies, and then they'll be paid for a couple of years to study for exams. That's how long the process goes. Paid well, in fact. But our average is most of our graduates have already passed 2 exams, 2 of the professional exams before graduation, which is, again, high, nationally speaking.
That's fantastic. So obviously we give them the kind of preparation and grounding that gets them the confidence they need to approach those degrees. And like you said, the demand is such that employers will allow them to work and then work towards that, passing that degree. We have alums out in the field, right?
Yes. A majority of our alums end up working in Nashville because there is a decent-sized insurance industry in Nashville, which is right down the road. And the demand is high enough that MTSU is unable to even meet all the demand just in Nashville for actuaries. So all our graduates are definitely guaranteed a job. The next big hub nearby would be Atlanta, and then you go to St. Louis, Chicago, and the Northeast. Also employ a lot of actuaries.
That's really fascinating what you said, that the demand in greater Nashville is such that they can really, that's one of the professions they can find. If they want to stay in Middle Tennessee, they could probably find an opportunity with somebody in greater Nashville that are looking for these graduates.
That's right.
Well, that's incredible. So I'm going to brag on you a little bit. I want to read off a couple of things, and I want you to tell me why they're important. Small class sizes.
Yes. Our professor to student ratio is very low, right? We have classes where you're getting individual instruction from your professor. Several of our actuarial classes are, in fact, exam prep classes. The class is designed to prepare you for that difficult, rigorous actuarial examination, which is
Right.
proctored by a third party outside of the university. And so having that one-on-one mentoring by the professor who has passed the exam already is really a key thing.
That's awesome. Some courses are scheduled in 1 to 2 day formats. Why is that?
Well, we do still have some demand from industry itself. Actuaries or insurance professionals in the field want to work on their academic chops as well.
Okay.
And so they're still asking if they can sit in on some of our actuarial courses. So those sparsely scheduled courses, like 1 or 2 days, is good for professionals because they have a full-time job. Also could be good for students because they can speak with their professor and their peers and study together for the exams, for example, on a couple of days, and then have a week to study independently and then come back with questions the next day.
Well, that's cool. I love it when I hear that our degree programs are geared for people looking to intercept with us in different points of their lives, and it sounds like that's a great example. And you've got a lot of minors that sometimes make sense to attach to this degree, like data science, risk management, insurance, and statistics, correct?
Yes.
And that makes that degree even more marketable for the prospective employers looking to hire.
That's right.
That's
And we're constantly trying to make the degree more marketable. In fact, I've been in conversation with an alum this summer about covering one of the classes as an adjunct because they're a full-time industry professional. And it'll be great to expose our students to a voice from industry because this is a very industrial degree.
Absolutely. And, you know, we talk about so many ready-to-work degree programs at MTSU, and it sounds like this is one of those degrees that is really geared to what does the industry need from our students to be successful, correct?
That's right. The demand is very high. We're in constant contact with the insurance industry saying, what do you need from us?
Yeah.
So we can provide the students.
Well, I think that's incredible. And it's not a new program, right? I mean, I want to make sure this isn't a typo. Founded in 1987.
That's right. That's right. We've been around a long time.
It's not like we're just new to the block, right? So this is, I always kind of bristle when folks say, oh, this is one of the best kept secrets. But the reality is, it is a little bit of a secret, right? We do need to tell other people about this opportunity, correct?
That's right. The word actuary is not necessarily well known, they say, at a national level. And so
Wow.
we have to get the word out. This is a really nice career.
So let's say you're giving an elevator speech to a prospective student or their parents or both. Give it, you know, we've talked about a lot of things, but let's boil it down to a couple of sentences. Why does it make sense to major in this?
Well, the world is really scared of math, so it's rare. And there's a lot of money in insurance and finance. And so these professionals are rare because math is hard, and they're paid very well.
Wow. Dr. Stevens, this is a great program, and I really appreciate you coming aboard to tell us all about it. Where can I go on the web to find out more?
So acsi.mtsu.edu.
Wonderful, wonderful. So folks can go there, find out more, and learn all about it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this program
Thanks for
to
having me.
discuss your program. And this does wrap up this edition of Academic Spotlight. A reminder, you can go to the web to find out more about applying to Middle Tennessee State University at mtsu.edu/apply. I'm Andrew Ottman. Good job.
Thank you.